With me now is Ty O'Farrell with Farm Bureau Insurance. Welcome, Ty.
Hey, Jenny. How are you today?
Fantastic. So, our viewers know that obviously flood insurance has been in the news a lot lately. So can you tell us a little bit about our area here and what's different about getting flood insurance for us?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. There's two things to take into consideration with flood insurance. The first is, are you in a flood zone? The second is, are you not in a flood zone? The best thing that you can do from an insurance standpoint is, if you're in a flood zone, don't panic. Get a copy of your elevation certificate. You can obtain this from the Building Codes Department of Beaufort County, or you can get a licensed surveyor to do one for you. And what that lets us do is we can tell you what your rate's going to be in regards to that. If you're not in a flood zone, it's referred to as either a Zone C or a Zone B. And if you have a mortgage on the house, more times than not, they're going to not require you to have flood insurance. But living in an area called the Low Country, I definitely advise all my clients to get flood insurance. I think it's just a good idea to have in this area. And if anybody has any questions in regards to that, they can contact their local agent, or I'd be more than happy to help them with that.
Well, now, I know, once you start looking into insurance, you start hearing words like replacement costs, things of that nature. So can you kind of explain to us about replacement costs and what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing with insurance is, a lot of times when people want a quote from me or they call me for information in regards to insurance, they say, I'm buying a house. And for instance, in the gated communities, let's say you buy a house and the purchase price is $500,000. Well, a lot of times people automatically say, I need $500,000 on this house because this is the purchase price or this is the appraisal value. Well, as a licensed agent, I don't necessarily go on that number. What I do is I have a replacement cost estimator. I take into consideration the square footage, if there's any special features to the house, whether it's custom kitchens, high ceilings, things like that. And what we have to do is make sure that we're insuring that house to value. So what you're buying a house for and what the house appraises for doesn't necessarily mean that's what it costs to rebuild a house. We run into this all the time because there's a lot of really good deals in Beaufort County right now from a real estate standpoint. The market's hot right now. I'm seeing more and more people moving from New Jersey, New York, and even the Midwest is starting to come down here. And so what it's my responsibility, and every insurance agent's responsibility, is to make sure that we're replacing, insuring these houses to value. That way, if we do have a Category 5 hurricane, we're all protected in the sense to replace their houses.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to see more and more people from the Midwest after this winter.
Absolutely.
Now, what about earthquake coverage? Can you tell us a little bit about that? I wouldn't think offhand that I would need that, but is that something that I need?
It all depends. I mean, with insurance, there's so many different options out there. The best thing that I can tell my people and my clients is to get a quote for it. Typically, it depends on the purchase price of the house or what we're insuring that house for, the rate for earthquake, but at least get a quote and see if it makes sense. I definitely would recommend having it as opposed to not having it, because the thing that I tell my people is, if we do have an earthquake, it's the difference between your house getting fixed and your neighbor's not. The best thing you can do from an insurance standpoint is ask questions, educate yourself, and get the facts. A lot of times people just call for quotes and they don't actually understand what they're getting. They're just looking for the best price, and that's the worst possible thing you can do if we do have an earthquake, a Category 5 hurricane, or even a huge hailstorm, which we actually have a lot from time to time.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I know our viewers are going to want more information, so how can they reach you? You obviously know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty easy. You can Google me. That's always easy. Or you can contact us at the office, 843-522-0031. We're a full agency. We've got a lot of great agents that are in there, as well as myself. We represent all of Beaufort County, whether you're in Sea Pines, Hilton Head, or DeFusky, and we're willing to sit down with people and educate them. That's the biggest thing we can do, is sit down, come up with a game plan from your insurance needs, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Jenny.
Perfect. Listen, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today, Ty.
Absolutely. Thanks.